All right, and to talk more about this, let's bring in Phyl Durdey, CTV News aviation specialist. Phil, good to have you with us. Thanks for being here.
Good afternoon, Renee.
So, what could have caused the midsection of this Alaska Airlines flight to blow out mid-flight?
Well, the Dash 9, the MAX Dash 9 aircraft is the longer fuselage version of the MAX 8, right? The 737 NG 900 is also the stretched version. And because of the increased passenger capacity, the evacuation criteria, they have to have more emergency exits. So they have an aft mid-fuselage exit on either side of the fuselage. Now, on the Alaska Airlines aircraft, they don't have the high capacity seating, so they don't require that emergency exit. So instead of having two different configurations, what they do is they just plug the door, so it doesn't work, and then they put a panel over the top of it, and it has a regular passenger window. So what happened is that plug is what departed the aircraft.
So, how does weight capacity play into this?
Not really. It's not a weight thing. It's a passenger capacity. So, for instance, if the aircraft had 177 passengers on board, or sorry, total people on board, 171 passengers. So, if they have a higher density seating, which means they can put more seats on the aircraft to fly more passengers on that same fuselage, right? So, what they have to do is, if you have the high capacity seating, you have to have more emergency exits to be able to get people off the aircraft in the 90 seconds.
Okay, I see. So, what happens now to the rest of the Boeing 737 MAX 9s after this incident?
Well, any aircraft that does have that configuration that does not use those emergency exits, excuse me, they're going to have to remove the interior panels, and they're going to have to inspect the doors or the plugs from the inside of the aircraft.
What about for, I always assumed that there were these pre-flight inspections happening before takeoff. Could this have possibly been caught?
Well, not really, because it's not part of the emergency exit system, right? So we have the forward doors or the passenger entry doors on the left-hand side. You have the overwing emergency exits, and the mid-fuselage ones are not used. So, like I said, they're just blanked off. They're plugged. So there's no way to inspect them, to check them on a pre-flight. It's not required because they're not an active emergency exit.
Have Boeing aircrafts been experiencing more troubles than usual?
I wouldn't say more than usual. The 737, well, one of the things they say is with the 737, it's the most popular aircraft ever built. There's over 11,500 of them built to date. And of the newer version Max, there's 5,900 on order. So they say every 5 seconds a 737 takes off or lands. So with that many aircraft flying, I mean, if the aircraft does have an issue, it makes news.
So, what types of investigations will be going on now?
So what they'll do is all the MAX 9s or even the 900 NGs, what they'll be doing is grounding them. They're removing all the interior panels from around those emergency where the plug is, and they'll be inspecting to make sure that it's properly secured in place, and they'll make sure that everything is the way it should be before they release the aircraft back to flight.
All right, Phyl Durdey, CTV News aviation specialist. Thank you very much for your time today. Great having you here.
Great. Thanks for having me, Renee.